And we're live, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is Wednesday, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. If you're watching this on recording, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you can hear me okay. Make sure you can see me okay. We're going to try something new with today's video. One of the things I haven't done in a long time is a live stream with just you all, just covering some of the things that are going on in the EV space. I wanted to lead it off with one of the news that I saw break earlier this morning. And then as we go through the conversation, feel free to drop any comments you have in the comment section below if you're watching live, any sort of items that you'd like me to look at, any questions you have, any comments you have, and we'll turn this into just a nice conversation between all of us, between the community. So the one thing I wanted to highlight today as people come in and you let me know where you're from, where you're tuning in from, is news from Volkswagen and Xpeng. And so here's the news article. And by the way, the Fed is also reporting if they're going to hike the rates or not in about half an hour, or they're going to report it right now and they're going to have the conference call in about half an hour. So we'll make sure to step away for that so you can go listen to Jerome Powell in case you're interested in that. Volkswagen buys stake in Xpeng. Xpeng is a Chinese automaker, quite small, but they make cars that are meant to compete against the brands like Tesla and so on and so forth. Will jointly develop two new EVs with a Chinese automaker. Volkswagen and Xpeng will jointly develop two new EV brands. Volkswagen is investing $700 million in Xpeng, and the new EVs will be based on the platform that underpins Xpeng's G9 SUV. So what's interesting about this, and I'd love to get your opinions on this, is a few things. One, Volkswagen is essentially buying up 5% of Xpeng, which is a Chinese company. And the deal is to give Xpeng the VW logo, and then Xpeng is going to make two compact cars, B-class type cars, and they're going to slap the VW logo on those cars, and these are initially meant to be sold in the Chinese market. Now, these cars are meant to come out in 2026, and it seems to be targeted for Volkswagen to revitalize their sales in China. For the last few years, Volkswagen has been losing a lot of market share in that region, mostly because of the huge domestic support that Chinese automakers are getting from the government. There has been a huge uptick in government subsidies and support for Chinese automakers so they can get as big as possible in that region. And Volkswagen, amongst other legacy automakers, have been taking the brunt from that. They've been impacted the most from the government going in and supporting these Chinese companies. So this is VW's way to try and, it looks like, revitalize that market. However, the two big concerns that I see with that are, number one, Volkswagen is basically, it seems like, offloading their capability and their expertise to get into the compact market for EVs to a Chinese automaker. And Volkswagen is like, okay, it seems like, you tell me if I'm wrong on this, they're like, hey, we're not really too worried about building compact cars. We'll have somebody else do it for us. We'll slap the VW logo on and they'll run with it. So obviously, if Xpeng doesn't do a good job and it doesn't uphold some of the qualities that VW is looking to do or wants to get done with their cars that they've had in that region and across the world, then you're basically allowing another automaker to dictate the experience of that car. And then second is when an automaker offloads responsibility of manufacturing to another party, that automaker is not going to have controls over the costs. And so one of the things that Volkswagen is doing here is that they're basically saying, we're not really worried about too much about how much it's going to cost. From our perspective, we're going to let Xpeng handle a lot of that. But the problem there is that it's either Volkswagen is not confident that they can do that, or they don't think that it's worth their time to do that, or Xpeng is somehow better at Volkswagen to do that. And so the broader thing there is that legacy automakers have long been thought as the sort of brands as we transition to electric vehicles that would be able to become the largest players in the market because they have the expertise. But this is yet another thing that has come up, in my opinion, that highlights that just because you're a very large automaker doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to build good electric vehicles, affordable electric vehicles, profitable electric vehicles. And what's even more interesting, and I saw this comment on X, I was going to say Twitter, on X from Jeff Lutz, and I'll try to find the X when I can. Basically, it seems like it's or it was Emmett. It was actually Emmett Peppers, where this might be Volkswagen's sort of quote unquote whitewashing strategy, where they'll take a Chinese-built car, put the Volkswagen logo on it, and then just make everybody think it's a Volkswagen, and then sell this thing globally to try and remove the stigma of a Chinese brand in, say, the Western markets like Europe and the United States. Not to say that Chinese cars are good or bad, but there's definitely a level of hesitancy, let's say, to support Chinese brands because of historical reasons or because of the latest sort of geopolitical tensions between the countries. And so this might be one way of Volkswagen saying, well, we can take advantage of the cheaper labor. We can take advantage of someone else building the EV. We don't have to worry about it. Just slap the logo on there and move. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I think from that perspective, it might be I'm not really sure if that's going to pay off for them long term. To be completely honest, I think that the bigger story arc here is that as we start going down market into affordable electric vehicles, I think this thing is going to become way more common, where legacy automakers are going to leverage other companies to build their affordable electric cars instead of them taking on that responsibility and invest their time and knowledge into achieving growth in those segments. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. For the next 25 minutes or so, let's turn this into a conversation about this topic and whatever else you want to talk about as well. I see about 200 people live right now. Thank you so much for joining me. Brand new format. I'm always open for experimenting, and it's one of those things that's like, yeah, I'm always looking to experiment with the channel. So thank you all so much for stopping in today. Let me see what kind of comments we got so far. Very, very good. Let's see. From Tony, channel member, thank you so much for supporting the channel, Tony. A friend of mine got sucked into the XPeng hype train. Dude is always bitching about missing out on the Tesla IPO back in the day, but can't seem to get his head straight about just buying it now. Well, I guess that's your friend's journey to go through. So that's an interesting comment. Thank you, Tony, for bringing that up. Yeah. Let me see what other comments we have. VW, very weak. Nice. Very good. Let's see what other comments we have. Volkswagen, VW using borrowed Tesla tech. Winky face. Yeah, what's interesting about that, and call it borrowed tech. I do think there's also something happening with the NACS, the North American Charging Standard adoption, which is yet again another data point that points to this, that automakers, instead of bringing and doing their own thing, these legacy automakers, they're looking to borrow technology or leverage other companies to do something that they don't want to get into, or they don't necessarily want to take the expense on. And it's par for the course for legacy automakers. You think back, what is a legacy automaker really? They're just a conglomeration, a company that is buying other things from other people and offloading a lot of the expertise outside of, let's say, how they're building the engine or a very narrow part of the business. And then they're offloading every other know-how or capability to everybody else. We saw that with the NACS, where they adopted sort of Tesla's plug, and they're like, let's go with that for EVs. And now Volkswagen is going in and basically, for at least 2 cars for the near future, they're offloading the responsibility of building an affordable electric vehicle to XPeng or Xpeng. Help me pronounce that a little bit better. Iacona23. I can't see how this will benefit VW in the long term. I do think that XPeng has very cool design and technology, though. If I had to drive a Chinese EV, it would be XPeng. Okay. That's very, very fair. Mimi. Love you, Mimi. Thank you for joining us. I don't think people will be fooled that easily. The big question is why they're doing it. They have huge problems. The new platform takes too long. The new software is non-existent. Yeah, Volkswagen has been having a lot of issues with their electric vehicles. They're very well documented. They've been having a lot of software issues with the ID platform. It's if you go just type software Volkswagen, you can see a lot of those issues. And they also very recently let go of their CEO, Herbert Diess. I think it was about 6 months to a year ago now, and they have a new leader there. He used to be the Porsche head. And so, not to mention Dieselgate, that sort of got Volkswagen going on the EV train a few years ago. So, yeah, thank you for that insight, Mimi. Appreciate it. You're a great YouTuber journalist. Leave the content to subject matter experts. What is a subject matter expert? Interesting. Thank you for the comment. I don't know if I agree with that, but I appreciate you stopping in. So Volks will be useful mostly for their marketing and distribution, selling China cars around the world because they can't compete in price. Yeah, and I think that I agree with that, and that's part of Emmett's comment on X was that it's quote unquote whitewashing. Is like you're cleaning up the brand or perception that a product might have with a logo that people trust, and then it's beneficial for XPeng to introduce itself to other markets, and Volkswagen offloads the responsibility to build an affordable compact car, electric compact car, which is probably going to be very difficult for them to make a profit on and build in large volumes. Especially as quickly as they need to do it. So if XPeng already has the manufacturing capability theoretically available for them to start building this in 2026, which is what the agreement outlines, then there could be some wins there. But will it be competitive? And will this help Volkswagen compete with the likes of Tesla and other automakers that would have, especially in Tesla's case, they have a lot of control over their supply chain and manufacturing. And so their ability to lower the costs and make the product super competitive becomes much easier. Whereas Volkswagen's really just at the mercy of XPeng. And whatever XPeng comes up with, then they come up with. Lab experiment. 7 OEMs have created a new charging station company for NA, copy of Ionity in the UK. Your thoughts? Yeah, this is a good call out. Let me go ahead and pull this up on another screen to sort of give another dimension as far as what's going on in the EV space. Thank you for bringing this up. Let me go ahead and share this. Boom. So this is from Sawyer Merritt, the man who never sleeps. Let me go ahead and hide this comment so people can see it. Thank you, Lab. News, a new EV public charging network joint venture will be created in North America by 7 major global automakers. BMW, GM, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, Mercedes, and Stellantis have joined forces to create an unprecedented new charging network joint venture. The stations will be accessible to all BEVs, battery electric vehicles from any automaker, and will offer both CCS and NACS connectors. CCS has been the standard that has, automakers have been using for a while, and then NACS is the new one that Tesla created that a lot of automakers are adopting. This is phenomenal. This is really good news. This will really help the adoption of electric vehicles, and the fact that we have 7 companies going into this hand in hand shows that there's at least some level of commitment to make this happen. And theoretically, because these companies should have a lot of resources from a cash perspective to get something like this up relatively quickly, then everybody wins in this case. Everybody wins. It's going to be very interesting to see how they spread the profits or how they spread the costs between each other. It might just be everybody throws in, equal amount and they get it going. But anything to increase the adoption of EVs is a win, in my opinion. So this is fantastic, and it shows that hopefully they're taking it seriously, and it's good news. Volkswagen's missing, though, from that list. Interesting. Thank you for bringing that up. It's a good topic to cover. XPeng have 2 models for sale in Sweden, both big and expensive. Yeah, it might be... it sounds like Volkswagen and XPeng are just coming together to come out with that affordable compact car. That's going to be really the biggest driver of volume in the coming years. This is a great story. DRK. can we just give DRK all the props in the world for being one of the greatest mods, along with everybody else that are mods in this community? My God, DRK legend. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I agree. Let's see how they execute for sure. And we're talking, of course, about this story right here. Very, very interesting. Gino, how you doing, my friend? Gino, a big supporter of the channel. Let me know if you got those shirts. Gino ordered like 1,000 shirts. It wasn't 1,000, but he ordered a ton of merch for his for something he's working on, and I really appreciate your support there. But let me know if you got them and if they meet your standards. Let's see. Lab, I don't think they can use the NACS connector as it's Tesla's patent, and they keep saying anyone can use on their fair use agreement, but if they are using it to compete in their business with Tesla, no, I do think they can use NACS. I don't think there is any limitations where Tesla is saying you can't use it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be publicly announcing so many partnerships with people. I think it's in Tesla's best interest to have NACS adopted, because if you think about it this way, any EV that goes to a charger where there is a Tesla, then you're cross. It's almost like charging lots where EVs go charge are the new age dealership lot. So you go, you plug in your car, and then you're surrounded by cars. In this case, with this partnership, you'll be surrounded by every car. And if Tesla has an outsized advantage from a market share perspective, if say in the States they have like 60 some odd % of the market share this year so far because of the Model Y selling so much, then there's a very good chance that when you show up at a lot, if you're in a non-Tesla, half of that charging station, as long as it has NACS, could very well have half of them are Teslas. And then if you're in a Mach-E or an Ioniq 5 or 6 or a Mach-E or EV6 or an ID4, an ID3, whatever you might be in, you're like, this car looks kind of cool. And then when the Cybertruck's out, then there's this triangle that's reflecting the sun and blinding you because of this, steel, or they're using they're wrapped in like a Ford F-150 skin. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It's freaking hilarious. It's a tweet from Sawyer. Tesla's trolling Ford pretty hard here. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can find it. I'm going to give myself 5 more seconds. Here we go. Check this out. Tell me that's not hilarious. Look at this. It's a Cybertruck with an F-150 skin. So imagine showing up to a lot with chargers to charge your non-Tesla, and then you see this thing next to you. Seems pretty beneficial, in my opinion. But it's a fair question. But I think it's Tesla has a lot of incentive to allow other automakers and anybody really to use NACS, because then a Tesla will come up. Dad joke of the day. Reading a book about anti-gravity, can't put it down. Thank you, Richard /Bob /not legal advice. Hilarious. Everybody let's rate this joke 0 out of 10. What's your rating? I'm going to give it a 6. It's not bad. It's good. It's good. Ay. Comment from Matt. How much will Tesla charge for their wraps? So I would love to hear your opinion in the comment section below. Do you think that these wraps will be offered by Tesla, or do you think they're using a third party to do it? So when you order your Cybertruck online, do you think you'll be able to say, I want this wrap on it? Or do you think they just got with a third party to make it happen? All right, Richard. 3 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 3 out of 10, a solid 6, a 4, a 7, a 6. Okay. I'll keep the score to myself next time and then let the comment section rate it. Producer wife, LOL, love this format. She didn't even say LOL. She just said love this format. Like putting in, I'm projecting what I want her to say. Thank you, baby. Thank you for coming on and hanging out with us. You know what? I really forgot how much I enjoy this kind of format. I'm gonna do this more often. I've been going through a lot of I've been going through like a phase of trying to figure out how to keep this fresh and keep me fresh, and I feel a lot of energy, a lot of positive energy right now. So thank you, baby. So I think this is something that's hanging out with everybody here, my awesome community. Oh, love you guys. Mimi thinks no wraps from Tesla. Let me know what you guys think. What y'all think from Texas, my God. Should be easy to wrap yourself, no curves. Very good point. That's something that's sort of underrated about this car is when it comes to wrapping your car, the curves is what makes it super difficult because you get creases and stuff. Whereas if you just have flat surfaces, wrapping becomes an absolute piece of cake. And so the aftermarket or Tesla's own wrapping, let's say subdivision, can be incredibly, incredibly profitable and popular. And my God, how cool would it be if you can upload your own image on, say, Tesla's? This is a great business idea if somebody has the ability to do this. Have it so that somebody can just upload their image on a website to design the wrap for the Cybertruck, and then a machine will just print it out for you and then send it to your house. And because it's so easy to wrap straight lines, they give you like like straight and flat surfaces. They give you a very quick tutorial. You can scan the QR code on the product. It will send you to a tutorial thing, and then you wrap your Cybertruck with your own face on it if you wanted to, right? It's very similar to, say, how a lot of merch companies do it for like shirts and stuff. You upload your image and then they'll send you the shirts. My merch works that way. I found a phenomenal supplier where I can just upload my images or my text or whatever, and then the shirts get drop shipped to the people that want to purchase that merch. Do the same exact thing for wraps. Why couldn't you do that for the Cybertruck? Who wants to take that on? I might be an investor. Let me know. Couldn't they like shrimp wrap the individual panels with some heat or something before they even get put on the truck, like fully automated process? Yeah, very much so. They could have a line where they do that already for the car. So, yeah, that's a good point. From Ronan, R4UNEN. Sorry if I don't know how to pronounce your handle. In Denmark, we have a lot of problems with third-party EVs blocking multiple stalls because of the placement of their charging ports. How do you think Tesla will address this issue? Longer cables, longer. You can plug in your thing from a farther distance. So if you make it as long as possible, theoretically, you remove the chance of somebody having an issue plugging in their car. So it seems like a straightforward answer. You just got to make sure that whatever you do, maybe the cord has to be retractable so that it's not just a mess. So I would say that's one way of solving it. Let me know. Let's get this stream to 250, please. Let's get this stream to 250, please. Thank you, DRK. Look at you. I can always count on DRK. I like this format. Nice way to spend my lunch hour hanging out with other Tesla-obsessed individuals. Awesome, Angie. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. I'm really enjoying this format myself. Super, super fun. Super, super fun. It's an A. Ronan. Let me know if I got that. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We got about a few minutes left. Jerome Powell's about to speak. I know a lot of you are probably interested in the sort of what Jerome Powell's up to. So what happened with the rate? Let's look it up. Fed. News. Fed rate. Oh, okay. Fed rate has been hiked. Let's share the screen real quick. Federal Reserve, 0.25. I'll fix it next time. No, I won't. Federal Reserve hikes key interest rate to highest level in 22 years. What is this dated? Let me make sure. Updated July 26 at 2:22. Okay, so literally a couple minutes ago. After briefly pausing its war on inflation last month, the Federal Reserve is resuming the battle by hiking its benchmark interest rate to the highest level in 22 years by announcing that it is raising the federal rates rate by 1/4 of a percentage point. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section below. I don't know why they're doing that. If we go to Trueflation, so Trueflation is a place where they show the real-time inflation, theoretically. Real-time inflation is at 2.5. And it has been dropping pretty severely. So, yeah. Who knows? Maybe the Fed knows what they're doing. Let's see how the stock market is doing before we call this sucker a day. Let's see. NASDAQ. it's okay. I mean, it's kind of not doing much. It's down 0.47%. And then how's Tesla doing? Because I know that's something a lot of people are interested in. Is down 0.62%. Okay, so not a lot of movement from this news, but anyway. Okay, so let me know if we should do this more often. I think I'm going to do this this sort of format more often. I was half thinking about doing this maybe like daily, like a Monday through Friday, just like a half hour, or maybe like twice a week or 3 times a week, where we all sit down and chat about what's going on, and then you all share your thoughts and what you want me to talk about. And then we just turn it into a fun time, and then we can sort of touch base much more often than we used to. Especially now that I'm putting a pause on the community forum for those that haven't been following. So we used to have a Friday 1 p.m. Panel with the community, and we did it for over a year, and it was super fun. But I do try to, I did experience just a little bit of burnout from that format, but I'm looking to having a different sort of format going that maybe we can have more of the community engaged and have it be maybe different, so that we can find different things to talk about, or, involve more of the community, so that we can have different conversations too. So, all right, everybody, I'll let you go. I hope you have a great day. Go listen to Jerome Powell. I know that's what a lot of you want to do, probably. And we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.